What is up, everyone? My name is Turk. This is Level 1 News, and today we are going to be talking about smart delivery and what, if any, impact it will have on game sales for the rest of the year. Now, in case if you don't know what smart delivery is, it's basically Microsoft's service kind of program that they have going now, where if you buy a game for Xbox One, you will get a free upgraded version, like a proper next-gen version for Xbox Series X when you get that system. So obviously it's a really good move for consumers so that they don't have to buy the same game twice like in previous console launches. But it does kind of pose like an interesting question on whether or not people will actually want to buy the game when it actually launches, or will they wait until the next gen version is out? Because a lot of gamers, they're gonna want to play like the best possible version that's available, and if they know a better version is coming with the next gen system, maybe they might wait for the better version to come out with the new consoles. So I think that and this is the first time any service like this has ever been offered. So I think it's definitely like an interesting scenario to pay attention to see if game sales right now could potentially really slow down, because there's this whole anticipation for next gen systems, and that those versions and that there's going to be upgraded versions for those next gen systems. There's going to be several of these kinds of games, but like the really big ones are going to be Cyberpunk 2077, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, EA games, Madden, and FIFA, also Marvel's Avengers. The main thing with smart delivery is that it's really Microsoft's idea. They were the first company to put forward this program, so we don't even know. Sony might have some sort of similar system that they're going to announce at some point, but as of right now, they have not said anything about that. Now, third parties are going to be doing it. So again, similar to Microsoft's way of upgrading these games, EA and Square are going to be doing their free upgrades for Marvel's Avengers and Madden and FIFA. And these games are going to be eligible to a free upgrade. Even if you get the game on PS4, you will get a free upgrade on PlayStation 5. But again, Sony themselves have not outlined any kind of plan for the system-wide level of games. So we'll have to wait and see if they even do anything like that. It's possible that they don't even care about that idea, and maybe they just don't want to do it. And on top of that, Sony also hasn't even mentioned backwards compatibility at all. Everyone's kind of assuming right now that PlayStation 5 is going to be backwards compatible with PlayStation 4 games, but Sony themselves haven't said anything so far. I think it's safe to assume that PlayStation 4 games will be backwards compatible with PlayStation 5, but kind of interesting that they haven't even mentioned anything like that yet. And then forget about PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 games. Those weren't even backwards compatible with PlayStation 4. So we'll see what happens with PlayStation 5 and backwards compatibility. Of course, the complete opposite of Microsoft right now with Xbox Series X is going to be backwards compatible with Xbox One, Xbox 360, Xbox original games. So it really showing you the difference in strategy between the two companies. And again, Microsoft really came up with this idea of smart delivery, of having a game in which you get a free upgrade when you get to the next gen, when you buy a next gen console. But again, the question is, if you're going to get a next gen version of the game, will people want to wait? Maybe they don't mind waiting for the next gen version, and they want like the best possible, highest fidelity version. So I think it's definitely like an interesting thing to watch and see what happens, because again, this really has never happened in a console launch before. Previously, if you ever wanted to get a game for one generation, you had to buy it again for the next generation. This happened last time with the previous console launches. There was plenty of games that came out for example, on Xbox 360, and then they came out again on Xbox One, but there was no way to get a free upgrade. And this time with these consoles, there's going to be this free upgrade program. So I'm really interested to see if people take full advantage of it, or if it just kind of becomes this like side kind of conversation where, yeah, it's all right, it's nice to have, but not a lot of people are going to take advantage of it. So again, very big difference between the two strategies between Microsoft and Sony. Now, one of the major games that's like fully supporting this idea of smart delivery is Cyberpunk 2077, and that game is like in a category all on its own because it's such a hyped game. It's one of the most anticipated games of this generation. Forget about the year. And it's in a really unique situation right now because it got pushed back to November 19. That is going to be pretty much right on top of the next gen console launches. So I don't even know how that's gonna work out. I mean, the Cyberpunk 2077 is such a huge game that I could even see it like distracting people from the next gen console launches. Now, I think it might be a bit of a stretch to say that, but like, you know, it's possible. And then on top of that, Cyberpunk Smart Delivery version is not going to be coming out day and date with Series X. So even though they did announce it, they said that proper true next gen version is going to come at a later date. So when you buy Cyberpunk 2077 and you put in your Series X, it might like bump up the visuals or like the resolution maybe a little bit, but it's not going to be like that true next gen version. So I do wonder if people are going to maybe say, you know, I want to wait for the better version. I want to wait for like the next gen version of Cyberpunk 2077. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Another thing to point out is that Cyberpunk is also going to be releasing like pretty much right on top of the Series X and PlayStation 5 launches. And those consoles themselves have each a huge game that's going to be launching with those consoles. Xbox Series X is of course going to be launching with Halo Infinite, and then PlayStation 5 is going to be launching with Spider-Man Miles Morales. So now you have 3 huge games potentially releasing at almost like within a week or two apart from each other. Now, we don't exactly know when the next gen consoles are going to be launching, but I think it's safe to say that it's going to be in that November timeframe because that's when the last generation launched. Xbox One and PlayStation 4 launched in November of 2013, and I think they were about a week apart from each other. So I think there's a good chance that they're going to just launch again on top of each other, and between them is going to be this even bigger game with Cyberpunk 2077. So I don't know what's going to happen. This is such high competition that I don't see how, you know, all these games are going to do well. I feel like at least one of them might end up suffering in sales a little bit. I mean, I know everybody's anticipating Cyberpunk, and depending on how Halo Infinite looks, I think a lot of people are going to want to play Halo Infinite when it launches. So I don't know, maybe Spider-Man Miles Morales doesn't do that great. Maybe PlayStation 5 might suffer a little bit for their launch, but who knows, because PlayStation has so much clout with fans and gamers that I feel like, you know, that also counterbalances it. So really interesting to see like all this incredible competition. On top of all this, you have the question on whether or not smart delivery will play a major role or not, if people are going to not buy the games when they come out throughout 2020 and see if they just wait for the next gen versions. And again, we've never done anything like this with a console launch before, so I think it's definitely something to pay attention to see what happens on that front. So that's really the main question that I have, that I want to put out there, is that are people going to be really taking advantage of smart delivery? Are you going to maybe wait until the next gen version comes out? Let us know in the comments. Me personally, I know I'm gonna be waiting for the next gen versions. I'm not the type of person that has to get a game on day one. I'm perfectly fine waiting for a better high fidelity version. But if maybe for you, maybe you want to get the game on day one, let me know in the comments. Another major question is, are you going to be waiting for the next gen version of Cyberpunk, considering that that version is going to come out at a later date past the next gen launches? Even better question, are you going to be getting a Xbox Series X? Are you going to be getting a PlayStation 5? Are you going to get both? Or maybe you're going to get neither, and you're just going to get Cyberpunk and with a current gen console, and that's going to be, you know, fine for you. But you know, there's just so many options right now, and so many things happening at the same time with the games industry, that it's going to be really, really interesting, and going to be learning a lot about how gamers are going to react to all this stuff. So again, something to really pay attention to. Let us know in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. My name is Turk, and this is Level 1 News.